Hey, AJ.
What's up, man? Hey, let's clear something up real quick right off the bat.
Can only imagine.
Predvedital is in the chat, and he was saying this last week, and he was like, "Why is the show starting 1 hour earlier than usual?" And he said this last week as well.
So no one clued him in last week, so good job, everybody. You're killing it.
Just to let you know, homie G, daylight savings happened in the U.S. Last week.
We hate
or
it.
Earlier or Monday, I think. Sunday, and we lose an hour. Like it springs forward an hour in the summer and the spring, and then falls back an hour in the fall.
Oh, you use the device.
It doesn't. It doesn't happen in the UK just yet, though. So out there, over in Europe and stuff, it hasn't been applied for you. But let me just say something. Congress has passed a bill. We don't get into a lot of politics here, but now I'm putting my foot down and getting political.
Yeah.
Congress has passed a bill that now they're trying to get rid of daylight savings time.
Thank God.
What is wrong with you, Congress? Why couldn't you do this when we had an hour moved back? What? And then, I am going to write my local congressman and be like, why did you let this happen? Why wouldn't you wait until the fall so we all gain an hour instead of losing an hour? Now time is going to be screwed up forever is all I'm saying. I'm upset about this.
Wait, does that mean it's going to be darker earlier from now on? Because I don't understand how things work.
I don't know.
Like hours and stuff. Because dude, I love it. I love it in the fall. Like I love when I wake up at noon and it's already getting dark. So if that's the case, sign me up. Very happy. Can we start the show, man?
I'm pretty sure it stays lighter for another. But
well, then fuck it. I'm moving. I'm moving to someplace with daylight savings time.
Go to Alaska. You get like 3 hours of sunlight. There you go.
Sweet. Oh, that does sound like my speed. I'm starting the show whether you want to or not. Here we go. This is PSVR GameScast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on YouTube. If you're watching it right now, you're probably watching it live. If you don't see our faces, well, maybe you're listening to us on podcast services of your choice, and your choice is wide and varied and girthy, possibly as well, because I look at podcast services and I don't recognize the names of any of them. But guess what? We're on there. Thank you, Jimmy O. We love you so much. My name is Bryan from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and this gentleman over here, if you can call him that, AJ from the Underground. PSVR Underground.
Speaking of girthy, what is up, guys? Happy hump day, baby. Wednesday. And we're here to get you over the hump with some humping of PSVR news straight into your earlobes. It'll be like those people on Twitch that are like licking foam ears. Apparently that's all what Twitch is nowadays. So I've learned.
Why are we on Twitch? What are we doing over here? This place is old news, man. Let's get over to where they're licking shit.
What's the safe word today, Bryan?
Safe word is
yes.
Oxygen.
I love it. Safe word is oxygen.
We're kicking things off with a €2 tip from Looper, the Underground Gamecat. Thank you so much, Looper, for supporting the channel. We love you. See these lights? They're brighter than usual. It's because of you. You kept them on. I appreciate it. He says, Prisracks have a great taste for PSVR games. Oh, that's right. Okay, dude, it took me a second because, you're walking around in Republic and you're pickpocketing all the Prisrack guards, and they all have great PSVR games.
I thought that's what that was. I was like, I didn't, yeah, okay. Prisracks are the guards from, Republic.
Right.
Yeah, what is it? Rec Room, Dread Halls.
Fantastic contraption. It's a lot of stuff, man. There's a lot of guards, and pretty much every single one of them has a PSVR game in their pocket. So go forth and pickpocket away. We also got Professor Lewis with the $5 tip, keeping it in check over here. The Sunday multiplayer poll, GMT is up. So I don't know time zones anymore or anything like that. Choose from Riggs, Zenith, and Trickster. Yeah, Riggs is the team mech game. Zenith is the MMO, and Trickster, as Professor Lula said, is a swords in magic wave combat game. Oh man, make sure you join our Discord. Head on over there and vote for the game that you want to play with other cats this Sunday. Thank you, Professor Lilith, for keeping that up for us. I appreciate it more than you could possibly know. How you doing, buddy? AJ, what's going on, man? How are you?
Nothing much. I'm thinking LC2552 Beats the musical game cat. Says, nice hoodie, AJ. Thanks, homie. It's sleeveless. I get made fun of a lot for wearing a sleeveless hoodie. They're like, what's the point of a hoodie if it has no sleeves?
Dude, hoodies are just the best anyway. It's like
it's a summertime hoodie.
Yeah, hood should be on everything. Like, I don't actually wear the hoods of any of my hoodies, but I'm really happy they're there. I just like the way they look. So I like a hood on everything, please.
Nothing I do makes sense. It's supposed to throw you off the track. It makes me hard to read.
Nice. So you like Shakespeare. That's
my nickname in college. Thanks.
Your name was Shakespeare in college? No? All right. I don't know where we're going with that.
Move along.
Just pretend you didn't hear anything. Is it really? See, this is the thing, guys. I love the whole happy birthday thing all the time, but then I don't know when to take you seriously. Is it really Cotton Candy's birthday? Is it? I don't know.
And is it a person named Cotton Candy? Or is it like cotton candy in general? By the way, that reminds me, Coca-Cola has a new flavor that I got from the gas station at one point.
I quit.
And it was called Starlight, limited edition. And I got it. And it tastes pretty good. It tastes like a little hint of cotton candy in there. It's actually pretty good.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, isn't Coca-Cola sweet enough, man? You're gonna add some fucking sugar in there. It's like pound some cotton candy into it. That's what that needed. Jamie out with the $5 tip says, I'm so sick and tired of waiting to buy an underground beanie. I'm tired of all the COVID BS about why it's being delayed. Get your shit together, AJ. AJ thinks he can run Sony, but he can't even run a Teespring clothing department. Just saying.
That's true.
Thank you,
I
Jamie.
deserve that.
Appreciate it. Also, Kill Artist, the Dreamweaver Gamecat with the $10 tip says, hey guys, it's my daughter's 18th birthday. Where does the time go? Now, this is a legitimate birthday, because who the hell's going to tip and lie about a birthday? Happy birthday to young lady Kill Artist.
Happy birthday, young lady Kill Artist.
That's all I got.
I was trying to remember her name in Zenith, because I got her added in Zenith. She's in the Gamecat Dojo.
That's right. I forgot about that.
But I can't remember her username.
Yeah.
Dang it. I'm usually good about that. Sorry. Happy birthday.
Guys, if you didn't already know, you should join our Discord, because that's where all the cool cats hang out 24/7. And that link is in the description below. So if you want to join, click the link and head on over after the show. Maybe during the show. I don't know. There's probably people talking over there now. You never know. But all sorts of good stuff happening over there. Actually, and pay attention to Donnie's question of the day. I think it's actually really important today. AJ, but besides all of the housekeeping and stuff like that, we've got a bunch of news to talk about. Unlike Monday, don't we?
9 goddamn minutes.
Yeah, man.
Let's kick things off, man, with Galaxy Karts. We have a brand new kart racer inspired by the classic Mario Kart that is made by our good friends over at VR Monkey. That has gotten a release window, and it is supposedly coming out. It is scheduled to come out this summer, and they're aiming for July and August.
Sweet. So if you don't know, VR Monkey is the team that has developed a reputation of some sort, and the reputation is a little bit all over the place. These were the guys who made Viking Days, right? But then they also did some really great porting work on Tarzan VR.
They fixed it.
I held for laughter. Right. But yeah, they did fix it. It actually plays decently now. But then they also ported Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife. They ported, I believe, Yuki over from Quest to PlayStation VR, and I think they did a really good job and addressed any issues that came up like before launch and after launch. So So I'm like building faith in this team, who I sort of like
Yeah.
laughed at anytime I saw their name prior to this. So what do you think the chances are, man, that this is going to be a good kart racer? Like this is the thing, one of the many things we've been asking for like 5+6 years.
I
11
freaking
years.
hope so, man.
5+6.
I mean, from the gameplay that they've shown, they show you a little trailer. It looks fine. Like it looks decent enough. They also, which I put it on my Twitter, posted this part about on my Twitter. They've shown us some of the character designs that you can play as, and I like the character designs. People seem to be a big fan of the chili dog costume. And then there's just some other goofy ones. There's actually one that kind of looks like Aloy. I call them all their own names. There's a pirate. There's a clown. There's a alien robot things. There's like some arcane magic thing. Oh, there's like a Jin from Ghost of Tsushima, and then there's like an Aloy looking thing. So I like the character designs. They look pretty cool. Yeah, the taco. I mean, the hot dog goes pretty hard. Although, why is a hot dog wearing a sombrero with a big mustache? Because hot dogs are not really Mexican.
These are certainly my concerns as well when it comes to Galaxy Kart. Definitely concerned why the hot dog is wearing a sombrero, and not about like, I don't know, what controllers is this going to support?
Suspicious.
You know, is this going to have like actual motion support? We can put your hands on the wheel. Is this going to have dual shock only?
So it does look like it. You do see in the trailer briefly. You do see a little bit of hand movement of like holding a gun or something. So I'm sure there's maybe going to be a couple options, but.
I hope so, because I could also see it being like you're using a dual shock and like the only motion part of it is just like aiming, right? Like aiming your weapons and stuff. So I do see that being a potential thing. Hopefully it supports, an actual wheel, because I know a lot of people enjoy that. I think that was a great way to play touring karts. Yeah. Because you could play touring karts with one hand on the wheel and a move controller. And I mean, like, I don't think it gets much better
anything.
than that. Yeah, they allowed you to like combine everything, which I think was really cool. I think that's when I think about VR in racing games. That's kind of what I want. When we talked about Twisted Metal, I was talking about like, like just give me buttons and stuff on the dash on the wheel itself. But like if I had a motion control in one hand and the other hand on the wheel, and then I get the pedals and everything, oh man, I could be firing guns and driving and doing everything all at once. So fucking bring it on, Galaxy Kart. Give us what we need. Twisted Metal. Wait, wrong game. I don't know. Do you think this is going to beat Dash Dash to release?
Yeah, I don't think Dash Dash is ever coming anymore.
Oh, I think we need to bet a pizza.
Oh, we all know how I feel about pizza bets these days. But I would love nothing more than Dash Dash to come. But there's no evidence that it's coming anytime soon. The game has been out for like what? A year or 2 years on other platforms and not on PlayStation VR yet. So I don't know. At least we know I got to say this in order for it to come out sooner. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's true. You saying all the magic words.
I challenge you, Dash Dash Racing, to come out before this game, because I don't think you will.
Right on. I think I've got a feeling, right? Because Dash Dash has been in development forever. It's already on other platforms. It's they keep saying that it's coming, and they got crossplay working and blah 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 and this and that, whatever. They have big plans. This game was announced, I think, probably just as long ago as Dash Dash, and has missed just as many released windows. So I'm glad you have faith in this, because I have faith in Dash Dash, and I think maybe June, July, August, whenever this is supposed to come out, maybe remember when we didn't have any sword fighting games on PSVR, and then one day we had 3.
Yeah.
Like maybe this will be the year of the kart racer.
I hope, dude. Kart racers are freaking awesome. I welcome any and all kart racers. The thing about this game though is like VR Monkey. I think they've really stepped up their game when it comes to ports, but we haven't really seen them nail their own game yet. So that'll be really interesting to see. I'm fingers crossed. I'm hoping for the best here. Seems like a fun time from the trailer, but like you said, they made Viking Days, and they also made Apocalypse Rider. So,
I forgot. Yeah,
rough go when it comes to the original titles here.
For sure. Well, we'll see how it goes, man. It's all about the drifting or the sliding, or depending whatever you want to call it, man. Like you got to have all of the kart racing mechanics in there. Make sure that you can power slide around. Make sure there's a boost mechanic of something. Make sure the weapons are fun to use. Copy the fuck out of Mario Kart, man. Like there's no reason not to copy the best. Remember when PlayStation tried to do PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, whatever the fuck that game was called, and they tried to copy Smash, but didn't take the shit that made Smash fun? Like what did you do? So just copy what fucking works. Let's do it.
Yeah. Just copy everything.
All right, we got Emily Baxter, hashtag the cartoony witch game kit with $5 tip, says, had a tooth extraction. Very sorry to hear that. I know how that is. I got holes all over the place. In my mouth is killing me. Sorry, but not enough to say cartoony POS games suck. But not enough to say. Not enough not to say.
Saying that her mouth hurts, but she's still
going to be a pain in the ass. Love you, Emily. Get better soon. Rest up. All right, man. We gotta move along because that was just our first news story, and we got many more to go. The next one comes to us from the internet, which is the most reliable place on the internet. It's yet another reason to believe that Silent Hill VR is a thing, and I just don't know anymore, man. I just don't know. Talk about always being set up to be let down. What do you think?
I mean, I think the internet is trying to will it into existence, and I am fine with that. And I think they could potentially achieve this, but I just look, since there's a better chance of me saying it this way, I doubt it. Like, I don't think so. Unless now anything could happen. Things change. Sony could potentially license it from them, or do something. They could do something way to obtain it, but I just don't know, man. Like, I think Sony would be the ones seeing all the people saying how much they would want Silent Hill to make a comeback, and they would have to beg Konami, and I just don't know, man. As much as I would love for it to happen, I really have to see it to believe it.
So some of the cats asked me they've got burn-in on their TVs and shit because of the red marks on the screen. So every so often I have to switch to a different perspective, even if we don't warn it. So don't mind me. Yeah, dude, I think that this is totally a possibility, but it's also one of those like Year of Dreams types things where it's like, oh, this is never going to happen. And then when it does, we're like, oh my God, it happens. Like Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15 and Shenmue 3. It's like, this is what Sony used to be like just a few years back. They used to kind of make dreams come true. They kind of say, oh, these are the games that the hardcore fan base has been asking for. We're going to like find a way to make them happen. Yeah. And, The Last Guardian was another huge one. We were like, we're never going to see Team Ico's third project. And then there we go. We got it. And so I'm sort of, and we didn't see all of that right away when it came to the PS3 or the PS4. It always took a couple of years to kind of move into that. It's like, okay, let's deal with the launch titles. Let's deal with the making sure we sell some hardware. And then we'll start like really getting people who haven't made the transition yet to come on over, because we're going to like pull it. We're going to tug at their heartstrings, man. We're going to get them in here one way or another. And I do think that Silent Hill is a great way to do that. Again, the dirty secret about this game is that it's never sold terribly well, not compared to a lot of other Konami franchises. And there's like a party happening in my hallway, so it might not be sirens this time. It might just be noisy neighbors. I apologize. But so I do think that this is a possibility. I think we could see this eventually. And I think that's I think the eventually part of this is why what happened today or yesterday, whenever this happened. And it's the renewal of the Silent Hill trademark. But here, I'm going to go to the website where it is, and I have no idea what's going on. Let me bring this up here. So this will not translate it, but I don't know if you can see what's happening on the screen, but it's just
I don't know if
chaos.
I want to.
It's just chaos, man. I don't know what this video is playing in the background. I don't know what's going on right now.
My goodness, I see it now.
Right?
That's
here we go.
No Man's Sky graphics comparison.
There it goes. Anyway, so yeah, so this isn't going to translate it, but let me click on the Silent Hill box and bring up the no one should let me be in charge of anything.
Oh my god, that is glorious.
There we go.
Let me. Okay, you
Okay,
got
here
it.
we go. So now I can select the Silent Hill box, which isn't doing anything. Oh, there it is. Okay, and then it brings up all of this Japanese text, or I believe it's Japanese, and but it doesn't translate it. So I'm gonna go over to my own screen and do it here, where it translates to English. And now we've got all the information that you see on the screen, but I'm gonna read it to you. It says publication date March 15th, 2022, which is yesterday. Published trademark publication, so it's just renewing the trademark. It's got the application number, the application date, and then it starts putting it into categories. It's got 9 for machinery and equipment, 28 for toys, 41 for education and entertainment. Now, there's a lot to unpack just in those 3 categories that this falls into, but I think one of the big ones that it falls into, machinery and equipment or toys, is, say it with me, kids, pachinko, right? But then under commodity and service, it says exchange machines, ticket issuing machine, automatic photo, sticker creator, record data recording medium, game program, game software, headset for virtual reality, memory card for video game machine, program for commercial game machine, lots and lots and lots of other stuff. But it also says things like movie machine, operation for controlled machinery, rotary converter, and there's like some there's some sort of fitness shit in here too. So with all that aside, it basically means they're just fucking renewing this thing and covering all of their bases for the next decade or however long it takes for these things to expire.
So that somebody doesn't go along and snatch it up from them and steal the trademark. So that's all that is, and it's Konami. So unless the only way Konami comes back around again, which I think is like nearly impossible, is if like they're basically going bankrupt, going broke, and they have to hit the red button. This is what happened to Square Enix, but the difference is that Square Enix was investing lots into tons and tons of money into games that nobody really cared about or bought, and they had to hit the emergency red button and make Final Fantasy VII Remake. And they recovered for a while, and now they're kind of starting to struggle again. You saw stuff with like Chocobo Racing GP that's like doing terrible. It's like and other things. But yeah, the sad truth is that it sounds like, from what I've heard, that Konami is doing really well with mobile and pachinko machines. So what are they going to do? Like, just suddenly, maybe if they get new management or something, but they're not just going to, the same people that have been running the operations are not just going to be like, you know what? You guys are right. Let's go ahead and make Silent Hill VR and everything. It's far from that being the reality, unfortunately. At least I think so, just from my opinion. Obviously, I don't know anything, but
I mean, I think that all of these rumors about Sony, looking into Konami and looking into licensing their IPs or buying their IPs or banking games based on their IPs, there's got to be something, right? Because again, like I've said 1,000 times on the show, you can't just let your IPs dwindle. Like, the reason people want to play Silent Hill pachinko machines is because of the Silent Hill games or any kind of, or the Silent Hill movies or anything that they've done with Silent Hill. They're not playing the pachinko machines because they love Silent Hill pachinko machines. They're choosing Silent Hill pachinko machines because they want to play pachinko and they like Silent Hill. But people are going to stop liking Silent Hill if they don't keep making Silent Hill games or movies. So I think that they need to recognize that these franchises, these IPs, have a shelf life, and at some point, like, they need to revitalize them and make sure that a whole new generation grows up and wants to play Silent Hill pachinko machines, right? So it's important. I think it's important. I think Sony's probably going to be the one to do it. I don't see Microsoft investing in this and doing that at all, and I don't see Konami doing it themselves. So I think Sony could do something special here, and especially if it's a PSVR2 thing. I wouldn't see it as a PSVR2 exclusive, but definitely a hybrid.
Well, the best thing that was going to happen to Silent Hill was Silent Hills, and we all know how that ended. So Even if they came out and said, Konami could straight up come out and be like, we've made a Silent Hill game, and it's still 50-50 whether that's going to be good or not. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing more I would want than, Metal Gear Solid VR hybrid or Silent Hill VR hybrid. I think these would be amazing moves. These could be amazing games, amazing moves for Sony and Konami, but I just don't see it, man. I don't see it.
Well, I think if we think it's an amazing move, and a lot of people are excited about it, then somebody internally has to think it's an amazing move too. It just depends on who's willing to make the first move. Who is like, is it going to be a mutual thing? Is somebody going to have to pay somebody? I don't know. I don't know how that end of the operation works. I would assume that everybody benefits if Sony just licenses it and makes a game. They pay the dev studio, and
I'm
Konami
sure
makes
they've
money
tried.
and continues.
I don't think it's Sony that's holding it back. I don't think, you know what I mean? It's up to Konami.
I don't know. I don't know what you mean, because who knows? I feel like it's just been a mess. It's just been a mess.
But
I don't know.
To
who's
be
saying
fair,
yes, who's saying no.
to be fair, we're kind of getting out of the pandemic a little bit, mostly, and we have yet to see the next big showcase since the original launch of PlayStation 5. Well, I guess we have seen some. We've seen some Insomniac stuff like Spider-Man 2 and Ragnarok and Wolverine. But, we got years to cover here. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're saving up for that. Maybe it's going to be that next wave of big announcements and stuff, but I don't know. If they don't have VR though, like I don't really care. Or I mean, I guess I would care, but I'd be really upset if they don't have VR.
Yeah, I would too. I do think Sony's got a lot of shit up their sleeves, and I think the reason I think that has to do with our next story, which comes to us by way of Upload VR, but that also came by way of a few other places, and that's that there are apparently there was a shipment of like 2,000 plus PlayStation VR2 dev kits that have been sent out over the course of, I think, December and January, just recently, to developers in North America. And it's funny, if you saw my breaking news report, I didn't dive heavily enough into that, as Belramio pointed out. The entire news story revolves around shipments coming into the United States. So if you watch my breaking news report, keep that in mind. So when we talk about all these developers who have PlayStation VR2 dev kits now, we're just talking about U.S. developers. So all that number only relates to that. We don't have any kind of numbers anywhere else about the rest of the world. But if they got sent to the U.S., I can guarantee you they got sent everywhere else. Over 2,000 boxes. And we can break that down a little bit, AJ. But before we do, what's your first reaction to that news?
Well, I'm reading the article right now.
Okay, perfect.
And
everybody hold up. We're gonna let AJ get caught up to the rest of us.
I'm trying to see what's the connection here. If this is just, because this could be anything. This could be PS5s. This could be, it just says development kits for interactive software is all it says.
Right.
I'm trying to see if there's actually something that says. I'm trying to see if there's something that actually says it has anything to do with VR at all.
Right. There's not.
And they're using a time. So this is just a speculation, or this is just a rumor. This is not facts. Although we do know that developers have been receiving dev kits for a while, and we do know. Let me see. Let me be my own devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm. You take your time. I'll just
entering the country from October 2021. So we do know developers have been receiving kits from that time period, but that's also been happening since before then. So I don't know, man.
Well, the thing is, it hasn't been happening since before then. That's one of the big clues here. One of the big clues is that when Jim Ryan said development kits are going out soon, there were fucking crickets out there. like for the longest time. And it wasn't until this time period that Upload and everyone else is talking about where everybody started getting them, right? And so it's like bing, 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 bing across the board. It's like everyone started getting them, and so you don't see these big numbers of shipments going out ever, unless it's like the PlayStation 5, like before launch, right? And so this is very, and so when you start lining up like what we know when people received their dev kits, and then this shipment, which is massive, and it's not anything. It can't be PlayStation 5. It's obviously not PlayStation 5 Pro. It's like, and so what other? It's process of elimination, and it's a real simple process of elimination because Sony's not doing too many things. They don't have another Vita coming out. Like this is as far as I'm concerned, this is fucking cold hard fact. Because we've got evidence and they've got evidence. You put those two things together, and you've eliminated everything else.
Yeah, I guess I'm missing something here still. And yes, guys, I was a little busy today, so I didn't get a chance to watch Brian's video. God,
it was 2 minutes long.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, my first initial reaction would be like, it's a whole bunch of shit. It's PS5 dev kits and PSVR2 dev kits and PSVR dev kits.
It wouldn't be in this number
everything.
if it was PlayStation 5s, because there was already a big shipment of PlayStation 5 dev kits a year before PS5 or however long before PS5, right? And so this is the same thing repeating itself in yet another huge quantity. And there wouldn't be this huge, massive other quantity. Like they're already taking, if they're sending out PlayStation 5 dev kits, they'd be like trickling them out here and there, being like, oh, you still need one, you still need one, you still need one. It wouldn't be 2,000 units to the United States all at once over the course of like a month or two. That's an insane number.
Yeah,
now,
there must be. I mean, I don't know what that means. It's either going to. Well, they did say that if they're giving it to already existing big studios, it could make sense. There's a lot of big studios out there, third-party publishers and developers that are large. Like, I'm trying to think ones that are U.S. based, but I don't know. There's also, Sony headquarters and stuff that is in California. There's a Sony HQ, so there's definitely a lot of people this could go to. But yeah, not everyone I know. Not every developer I know has a dev kit yet. So
this is absolutely true. This is absolutely true. And again, there was like this huge lull after Jim Ryan had made that comment, and it seemed like the only people that had the dev kits for the longest time, for almost a year at that point, were like people very, very close to Sony, either first party studios or studios that always worked very closely with Sony, almost exclusively or whatever along those lines. And so it's been interesting to see again as these timelines line up perfectly when every other smaller studio begins getting their PSVR2 dev kit, and then as it turns out, 2,000 boxes of dev kit stuff was being shipped. It lines up perfectly. All the like little red pieces of yarn and shit all across the board, man. This is some conspiracy theory shit, but it works out perfectly, I promise. And even better than that, like I said, it's U.S. only. And so these numbers. So when you start thinking about all the dev kits they probably sent out to Japan, places in Europe, all over the place, there's a lot of dev kits out there. But this does raise a little bit of a caveat, right? And the caveat is that the dev kits come in 2 boxes. And if they're counting individual boxes, then the headset's in one, and then there's 2 Sense controllers in the other box.
Even numbers.
And so it's.
It looks like these are all even numbers, though.
Perfect. And but you have to cut that number in half suddenly. Like 2,000 plus now becomes 1,000 plus, right? Because it's like, okay, it requires 2 boxes to get the dev kit. And then on top of that, there are studios, even small studios will get multiple units. So it doesn't mean that 2,000 studios or 1,000 studios even got dev kits in the US. It means that, like bigger teams will get, who knows, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and some smaller teams will get 1 or 2 or 3, who knows. And so you start chopping that number down quite a bit, but again, it's for the United States. So it's kind of a deep dive that we're taking into just like a few different numbers, but it does check out. I did my research, made sure that everything was all on the up and up before I published the news story this morning, and it's exciting, man, to know that things are happening, And, I think we can kind of begin our 365-day countdown now. Tornado's about to knock some shit over. Here she comes. We do have a tip from Donatello, the scientist Gamecat, with the $5 tips. It says, I have 2 questions. How many PSVR1 dev kits are there out there? And 2, what does this many dev kits mean for us gamers? I don't have numbers for the original one, to be honest with you. But
I know people were still receiving dev kits up to like last year or something, a year or 2 ago.
Well,
so.
there were people who never they weren't interested in PlayStation VR, or they made their game on another platform. And suddenly they were like, oh, we could bring this to PlayStation. We can bring it to PSVR. I remember the Hinge developers took forever to get theirs. And then, so a bunch of studios like just weren't trying to get them until recently, and so it's tough to tell. I don't have even a rough estimate for you, but I will say this many all at once is definitely a good sign. What does it mean for us gamers? It just means that a ton of studios are interested, that have talked with Sony enough to say, hey, we want to make a game for your platform, I think it just shows that there's a huge interest in PSVR 2.
I think everything we were hoping would happen is kind of happening so far. We still have a lot to learn about games wise, but I think the big difference here is that it's just happening a lot later than we anticipated.
What's happening later?
Well, you're talking about developers getting their dev kits and games being ready, the headset being ready, the headset being shown. All of this has happened as we've expected. It just has been unfolding a lot later than we had hoped for.
Yeah, if this all went down like a year ago, exactly like this, I don't think anybody out there would be complaining. They'd be like, yeah, it took a little while, but COVID, supply issues, we just want our VR headset.
Even this hybrid games model, we don't even know when, that could be something that they didn't even start yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. That could be a plan for the future, but maybe not everything, so it's going to be interesting to find out, but as we know, we probably have a little bit more ways to go.
We probably do. Hey man, there was a moving on from the story, and just know that, guys, it's all good news, and that we're just going to keep you posted as things develop.
Yeah, we look at everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So good news for people who like good news for sure, and also good news as far as it comes to PSVR 2 stuff. The developers over at Cyan Worlds, who made Abduction,
Missed, right?
Abduction, Mist, Riven, yeah, some really classic games.
Riven was made by somebody else, but okay.
It was the sequel to Mist, so if somebody else made it, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying that close attention back then.
I don't know.
But it was but where are we talking about? Firmament. they hit their Kickstarter. The game is funded, and it's one of those games that we were kind of keeping an eye on, despite the fact that maybe Abduction didn't go nearly as well as we wanted it to. That game was super blurry and only offered teleportation and click turning and all that stuff. It's kind of a mess when it came out on PlayStation VR. We're all really disappointed. But Firmament, they were sort of promising for PlayStation VR1, but this has been in development for so long, and I guess that it's been in development long enough that things have changed. What changed is that this is going to be a PSVR 2 game now, and they did have to unfortunately cancel PSVR 1 as part of that change, which at this point I sort of understand. If anybody jumps ship and moves, yeah, especially when Abduction didn't even run all that well, man. It's like I couldn't, yeah. So to me, this makes perfect sense. Are you interested? Are you a Myst fan? Are you interested in this?
Oh man, I played Myst. It must have been like 25 years ago. It was so long ago. Yeah. And I wouldn't say like a huge fan, but I did like it, and Ribbon and some of the spinoffs, and some of the clones that even came out. It's all right. It's puzzles, so it's not my number one thing, but it had this cool kind of immersive adventure thing about it. Kind of had an adventure style to it. But yeah, I would be interested in playing it in VR, but here's the thing. I'd be interested in playing a PSVR 2 version, or I would say a PSVR 1 version. Obviously, that's been canned. If it actually looks like a PSVR2 version, then yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah. Uh, here's the
But if it's just a
description.
port, then no.
Yeah, no, I see. That's I think they weren't able to make. Yeah, no, I got my fingers crossed for this one. These guys used to be like they used to have like this amazing technical prowess, and somewhere on the lines either they lost it or they just have never been good on consoles, or they just focus too much on the PC side of things. I don't know what the deal is, but even on the flat screen PlayStation 4 and PS4 Pro, the game Abduction just didn't run very well. Every time they were definitely reaching for the stars, and they didn't quite land anywhere near. So all those scene transitions were really, really difficult. They removed the transitions entirely for the PlayStation VR version. So it's just what they did was just kind of a mess. And so I really, really hope that the extra power of the PlayStation 5 allows them to like bring their PC game over without like all the issues. Like, because these things should be beautiful. Abduction was beautiful on PC, and it just wasn't here. But over on Fangamer, which is a place that you can, maybe this is where it looks like this is where they were doing their Kickstarter. So not a Kickstarter, a Fangamer back thing. I didn't even know this was a thing until just now. They write, Firmament, the latest surrealistic adventure from Cyan, the studio that brought you Myst, Riven, Uru, which I'm totally unfamiliar with, and Abduction. Firmament is a resplendent, I don't know that word, fantastic steampunk journey. I like steampunk. A monumental voyage through diverse and curious realms with the ever-present assistance of a helpful clockwork adjunct and the deep and moving instruction and emotional chronicles of an ethereal mentor. I don't know, man. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any trailers that show anything. It's just been teasers and being like, hey, it's basically saying, hey, we're Cyan Worlds and we're making another game. Give us some money so we can do it. So somehow we made Myst in Riven, Abduction, and Uru, but we're broke. So give us money to buy another game, make another game.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, not my style of game, but when these land, they land pretty well for me. Like Zing, The Land Beyond, and
Zing,
Red Matter, and a couple other ones. But
yes.
I don't know. It's a weird name, Firmament.
Yeah. So I think this all has to do with like flat Earth and the dome and shit and like all that.
Heavens or the sky, especially when regarded as a tangible thing.
There's a book called Firmament, and it basically is it's basically the flat Earth Bible, and I'm assuming that this is all has to do with that. And so I'm fucking down, because if you've been paying attention to the channel, you know that I'm obsessed with flat Earth. Like, these people fascinate me. Behind the Curve is one of my favorite documentaries ever. And so if this has anything to do with that, fucking sign me up. It probably doesn't, but I'm just saying. Emily Baxter, hashtag the cartoony witch game kit with the $2 tip, says, look at all these bloopers that Spotify can't see. I only read your old tip to make your new tip totally irrelevant. How about that? Because she also writes, with a $2 tip, a tip for missing my tip. You had one job and you blew it. Look at that. We got Blue G, the Underground Game Cat, with the $5 tip, says PSVR2 was shown on 2/22/22. Pizza bet it gets released on 3/21/23.
3, 2, 1, 2, 3.
I'll take that pizza bet, man. Like, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just beware. He doesn't actually give you a pizza if you're right.
Yeah,
so.
That's not how this works. Like, you know how many hundreds of pizzas we'd all have to pay for each other? MRI's keeping tabs. Eventually we'll figure it all out. We got Jamie out with the $2 tip, says, did you guys know that Wanderer is a great game?
I did know, Jay. I'm pretty sure I told you it was a great game first.
I think that's how that worked, actually, yeah. But thank you for reminding everyone else in the chat, Jay, that
it is amazing. You should go play it.
It is a great game. AJ, the sales never end. It's almost ridiculous.
You ready for that next tip video or next sales video?
Yeah, no, and to be honest with you, I think I'm getting pretty fucking good at them. So I think I might make another sale video, considering that this one ends on the 30th. It's ridiculous. Every time I finish making sale videos, another sale drops. So I guess I should never stop making sale videos. So we'll have a never-ending flood of sales, because that's how life works. I say things, and things break. So AJ, our good friend Duran Fan, that's how I meant to say that, over on Reddit, as always, made up a nice concise list of all the sales going on, and And instead of us going through every single one of them, do you want to pick out a couple favorites that you love?
I did pick 2 games already. And the first one, now, I do love this game,
Okay.
but I don't think everyone will. But I am reaching out to every Final Fantasy fan, like hardcore Final Fantasy fan out there. I wish this game would go a little bit cheaper. But Monster of the Deep, Final Fantasy 15. Here's the catch, though. It's also a fishing game. so, if you have a Pro or a PS5, I'm a big fan of Monster of the Deep, Final Fantasy 15. I like this game more than Final Fantasy 15, the flat version.
Wow.
And it's a little weird. It's a little goofy, but it has metal music. It has beautiful graphics. It's like Square Enix making a VR game. So it actually has really good graphics. And yeah, it's got some
On the
okay
Pro.
fishing.
On
It's
the
got some
Pro.
it's got some okay fishing mechanics. And then like whenever you take on a boss, it's like your fishing rod turns into a magical crossbow, and you have to like shoot the boss to death and then catch it.
How many bosses were there? I remember there being like one boss, and we never used that mechanic very often. And
like each level had a boss.
oh yeah,
But there's also secrets though. Like if you have a lot of Final Fantasy nostalgia, then I think it's pretty cool. That's my first one. I don't want to go too far into it, but that's my weird pick. I wish it would go cheaper, but they never do. So
yeah, I spent a lot of time in that game. I have like 15, 20 hours or something like that in that game because I just played the crap out of it for review. And yeah, after the campaign, it just sort of dies. But
yeah, play with Gamecats.
There's
backs
something
me
there.
up on this one.
Nice. Billy Coat Catfish with the Australian $10 tip says, gosh. Thank you so much. We appreciate your
possessed by the devil.
Right. Thank you for passing it on via tip. Yeah. So I guess I got a couple that I'm interested in here too. I think Pinball FX2 VR Ultimate Bundle for $12 instead of $30. I've gone to bat for pinball on our top 25 list before. I think I got it into like one of them in the last couple of years, and I'm very proud of that because I think pinball in VR is absolutely incredible. It's able to do some things that regular pinball tables aren't able to do in terms of like the environment around you and really like kind of transforming the arcade you're in into like a world when you're playing the Walking Dead one. You've got Clementine there and zombies coming over the pinball table itself, and there's play one with aliens, and you've got UFOs spinning around your head and shit. Like they add some really cool things. And if you like regular pinball, then try it out. And if you don't know if you like pinball, this is a safe place to try it out and learn the basics. The only downside is that it's made by Zen, who really supports their flat screen games, but doesn't really support their VR games all that much. Once they get them out and release a few extra tables, then they're off and running. You don't get the hundreds of tables or whatever it is like the flat screen versions do. What's your next one, AJ?
My next one is because I'm trying to do something a little bit different here.
Yeah.
There's some good games in here for sure, but I've said like Eagle Flight before. I've said Falcon Age before.
Oh, dude, I've said Resident Evil 7 like every single time. Skyrim's on the list, but we're trying to give you something different this time.
Yeah. I'm going to go with this time Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. Now, this is the deluxe edition, which really doesn't make a huge difference for the VR thing, but at the end of the day, I'd pay $13 for the 3 levels that are replayable in Ace Combat 7. If you have a HOTUS, absolutely have to get it, especially if you have a HOTUS from like Star Wars Squadrons or whatever. And it's even, I think, okay with the DualShock 4, but it's definitely not as amazing. But yeah, man, I'd pay $13. I paid $60 for it, and I was happy about it. Like, I wouldn't recommend doing that. But damn, I just saw the regular price of this is $84.99. Good God. But yeah, man, I gotta go something different here. Get your slow, boring fishing game. Actually, it's not super boring, but it's fishing, so maybe results may vary. And then yeah, one of my favorite experiences to this day, man, Ace Combat 7 in VR.
Jenny PP has an interesting question in the chat. Any of you guys worry about the new PSVR2 controller in the sense that you cannot reverse hold a sword or flashlight anymore? Like in Brookhaven Experiment, so you can mount your pistol on top of the flashlight. It's interesting because every time I think about reverse holding something, there's been an option, like a button to press that like flips your
Right.
hold from one to another. So like you push the button and it flips. So you're holding a knife. Is this maybe I'm thinking of Onslaught?
I don't think it's a
I think.
problem. I don't
And then
think
you
it's a
click the
problem
button and
because you
suddenly
can
you're
just
holding
press a
it
button.
this way. And so it flips the item in your hand. So it wasn't a problem on PlayStation VR1, and I don't see the controllers at all. I think the
Yeah.
controllers are going to allow for things like this even more so than they ever did on PSVR1 because you don't have to worry about the bulb.
Because you don't
facing
flip the
camera.
move controller backwards.
Yeah,
and, like
never.
hold it reverse style. No, usually a button press. So.
Interesting question though. You made me think for a second. I was like, is that going to be a problem? My final recommendation is going to be Transference. You guys know I love horror games, and this is, I think, a really underappreciated one on PlayStation VR. In everywhere that it got released, it's a game made by Elijah Wood and his team over at SpectraVision. And I mean, seriously, some of the best environments I've ever seen on PlayStation VR. It is, I mean, again, I talk about photorealism on PSVR1 with some air quotes saying, this is as close as you're getting to photorealism, like this and Paranormal Activity. These are some of the best looking games on the hardware. And Transference is very convincing. It does a lot of cool visual tricks. It's got escape room style elements, and it's just really really trippy. It only lasts a couple hours, but man, it's super memorable. And if you can get the oh god, the Walter test case, that's what it's called, the Walter test case demo. I know it's not the easiest to get, so I don't think if you just download it, I don't think you can just download it on PlayStation 5. You might have to like download it on PlayStation 4 and transfer it over. That's actually like an additional chapter. It's called a demo, but it's content that's not in the full game. So try to find a way to get that and the game itself, and I think you'll have a good time for, God, how much money is it? $6.24 instead of $25. Yeah. Oh, that was it. We both did too.
Yep.
AJ,
Transference. What is it? Transference, Pinball FX, VR2, Ace Combat 7, and Monsters of the Deep, Final Fantasy 15.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And of course, there's all the staples in that sale too. If you don't have Skyrim, if you don't have Biohazard or Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition, this is the time to pick it up. They're super cheap. Farpoint's $10. Lots and lots of good stuff. Don't forget to pick those up too if you don't have them. We tried to go kind of hidden gem style. AJ, it's that time of day when I put 6 minutes up on the clock up on the counter, the way that Jeremy likes it, especially
The colors,
especially on hump day, right? AJ's got a game in his head, and I'm going to need all of your help out there because I've only got 20 questions, yes or no, to figure out what game that is in 6 minutes. Please, 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 for the love of God. As a guy who's played every single PlayStation VR game, as soon as this game starts, I forget them all. So I need your help. AJ, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah, on your mark, get set, go. Does this support the aim controller?
Does not support the aim controller.
Oh, crap. I'm off and running. Okay. No aim. Does it have any multiplayer at all? And no, leaderboards are not multiplayer.
It does have multiplayer.
Okay.
At all.
Sweet. Do you control any vehicles in this game?
You do control vehicles in this game.
Are you trying to run down the clock? What are you doing over there? what's with the one word every other second? Does this require... Crap. Is this a good question? Does this require the move controllers?
This does not require the move controllers.
Crap. Now I don't know the answer to the question. I phrased it that way on purpose to eliminate a question. Now I have to ask an extra question. Okay. Multiplayer game has vehicles of some kind that you can control. Is there any racing involved in this?
There is racing involved in this.
What?
That's 5.
Okay. Has this developer made other PSVR games?
This developer has made other VR games, PSVR games.
Has this developer made Operation Warcade?
this developer has made Operation Warcade.
Stop running down the clock. Is this a kart racer with an F1 influence?
This is a kart racer with an F1 influence.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is it touring carts?
It is touring carts. I wanted to go easy on you this time around. Good job. I wanted that one to be pretty easy for you.
I think it was All You Are Is History who got me there, but Virtual Strangers before him said VR carts. So I definitely was going down the whole cart path already. So thank you guys very much for your help. That was I think one of the fastest games, despite AJ's best efforts, we've ever had. Oh yeah, totally could have been mini motor racing. That's a good call, Proud Dog. That was wasn't really on my radar. I was like, we don't have any other kart racers, but mini motor racing. Yeah, not really kart. Yeah, kind of kart. It is kart.
GG Bryan, GG Cats.
Thank you very much, Cats, for helping me along. I always appreciate it. Can't do this without you. And just like that, just like 20 questions, I can't do this channel without you. I need all of your support, whatever possible. Remember to watch videos even if you don't like them, and click the like button even if you don't like them, and let the ads run even if you don't like them. I don't know, man. This is like the biggest self-promotion push I've ever done. Subscribe to AJ even if you don't like him. Subscribe to me even if you don't like me. Patreon.com/without Parole Games. I guess I'm right now. I've got an interview with Ryan Payton up. That's an exclusive to Patreon thing.
Oh, I got 2 videos I can go watch. Sweet. I'm glad I'm a Patreon of yours. I'm looking forward to watching that video.
Nice. And tomorrow I'll have another interview that will be semi-exclusive to Patreon, which will...
Yeah, you guys make sure you support this dude on Patreon. Go get some of that Patreon exclusive goodness.
$5 a month, guys. $5 a month. You can support me for $1. You can support me for $3. If you support me for $3, you get that name on that list down there. That goes by like 200 times an episode. And then for $5, you get exclusive video content, which is all just starting this week. I'm so sorry it took me months to get there. This week, I don't know if you guys are interested, but if you are, if you're part of that $5 tier, I'm going to be hanging out, just like hanging out with you guys, doing a casual hangout where it's literally just a AMA. I'm always an open book. But I think a lot of you cats out there don't know much about me. That's right, open legs, open book. And so you know, I'm always here to like hang out and shoot the shit, and I do it on Discord, but I know that's not super personable. It's only voice, whatever. So, but I'll get you the details by this weekend. It'll be a fun hangout session, and we'll actually be able to talk about things other than PSVR for once, which is, you know, every so often a nice change of pace. But let's get out of here, AJ. This has been a fun episode. I appreciate you hanging out with me. As always, stay tuned. There'll be some fun shit on the channel tomorrow. Wake up early. That's it, man. Thank you to everybody who supports us in every way possible. Thank you to everybody who hung out during the chat. Thank you to everybody who tipped. And, of course, thank you to everybody who sits back and watch shows and say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. I'm going to cue the cat. But not for you, AJ. For Alberto Mapam, El Game Gato.
Cue the cat for Alberto, my palm, the game gato, Bryan, because I want to say, see you Friday to hack the game cat. I know who's up in here. Move Master Mick, the shape throwing game, PSVR game cat throwing them shape. Flame Hat, the game cat says, poop, poop, cats. Virtual strangers in the house tonight says, later. Thank you guys. Twitcher, the I Love Swordsman now game cat. Release the Kraken. Brax Bro, as always, in case I don't see you later, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Yes.
TTP's VODs, what's up, man? Happy hump day to you as well. Go get your hump on. I released thee into the wild to go humpeth. Dark Angel 3, thank you for hanging out during the stream. Emily Baxter, the hashtag the cartoony witch game kitten says, cue to groundhog. You just, man, what meds did they give you for that tooth pulling? GB, the approved dreams cat.
What happens if a tornado sees her shadow? I don't know what's going to happen.
Nick the Game Cat. How? Peace, homie. Blue to the Underground Game Cat. Elite Game Squad to the house. Thank you so much. Jenny BB, thank you for the question. And always, we like it when you guys ask questions.
Yeah, keep us on our toes, man. Keep us on our toes.
Lose reviews just arrived. Well, sorry, buddy. Everybody else says bye-bye.
Next time.
Neon Groove. You have a great day as well. Miles Dyer in the house tonight. What up, homie G? Duran Fan VR. Thank you. Her name was Rio, and she dances in the sand.
That doesn't sound like Christopher Walken. That's not how you're supposed to do it.
Her name was Rio, and she likes dancing in the sand. Black Ice 4777 says, "Woo! Later, serial killer. The I want to rock. Damn, Ragnarok. The Gamecat.
Wow.
Herb the 247 Gamecat. What up, homie? Tall Flesh Eater Gaming. Stay metal, my friend. Jason Ewing. Good to see you as well. Shout out to you, my friend. Jason Ewing.
Alberto Mapamo with Gamegato says if Tornado sees her shadow, PSVR2 is delayed for another 4 weeks.
No. Delirium VR. What's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Vargo Soft. Hey. Proud Dog. Good to see you as well. Neon Groove. I'll take it easy.
Oh, yeah, let's get out of here.
I said fist bump to you.
Guys,